So many screens open as always. So we will get underway here. There we go. Okay. Move my panels around here. But okay, that way I should be able to see things a little bit easier. There we go, that works. Okay, started doing some off-screen things and maintenance, but let's get going. So, we're starting here with our basic campaign. We have some background, so let's look at the background real quick for the campaign. So this will be good for anybody who wants to run Hoard of the Dragon Queen, Tyranny of Dragons in the future. So the Cult of the Dragon, see if I can make it a little bigger, has kept secret its goal to bring Tiamat into the world thus far. As many know of the cult's increased activities along the coast, especially in the north, but the reasons behind the resurgence are unknown. Besides his cultist, Severin has forged an alliance with a splinter faction of the Red Wizards of Thay. This small and secretive group, led by an outcast named Wrath Odar, plots to unseat the Lich Zazastam from his position over the Red Wizards. Wrath believes that in exchange for his help in releasing Tiamat, she will grant him the power he needs to overthrow Zastam. Okay. Organizations themselves, each of different sizes. Leaders are known as the Wearers of Purple. They outrank us, but they don't exist in an overarching hierarchy. Okay. And they're not above hiring outsiders like mercenaries to help them fulfill their jobs and complete their tasks. Okay, that sounds good. So, next. Overview. So, during the first half, the cult is after the 5 dragon masks. While the cult gain more power, they start their second part, releasing the dragon. The action begins when a town comes under attack by a dragon and its allies. Characters can intervene to save townsfolk, but not before the attackers carry away an important scholar. While rescuing the captive and from the raiders' camp, characters learn that they are up against the Cult of the Dragon, and they have a chance to destroy a subterranean dragon hatchery that the cult guards. Clues to this more longer journey. The trip gains some allies. That's more than we're going to get to today. That's the overview of the whole campaign for our 0. So episode 1, Greenest in Flames. Okay. So we also need to be keeping some notes for episode 1 about what we're going. Make it smaller? No, that's about as small as I can make it. To keep track of what exactly is happening and how we can turn it into our story. So, let's see. The town of Greenest was founded by a halfling. Blah, 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 blah. The things, the most direct roads. Background. Okay, so we have some artwork. Let's take a look at it. There we go. We have a dragon. Looks like assaulting a small keep. The little village surrounding it. Oh. Chat, okay. So the adventurers might be on the road from one to the next. I think we worked out in our background stories that everyone is going to this city because they have been sent there specifically to look for the Cult of the Dragon. They all have had some past encounter with it. Boris and Rex ran into some cultists raiding a different village, one in which Rex was currently living at. And Catherine found out through her dying father that the cult is having some activities in and around the town, and to start there. And I forgot other PC. Mara has been sent to deal with the dragon cult by her patron, an old one, who converses mainly through emotion only. Doesn't really speak. There's just some uncomprehendable mumbling followed by her knowing something or having a certain emotion, and that seems to be how he communicates right now with her. And she has been told she needs to seek out and destroy the cult of the dragon. Okay, we've already looked at character hooks and our approach. Well, the approach is actually the thing. So our hook is done. General features. Light. Burning the deep fires. The cultists try to set buildings. Steam. We have some important characters, like our mayor here. We can see a picture of him. Maybe. If we have him. We don't have a portrait of him. We have his character sheet, but we do not have... Oh, we need to reset their HPs. Because we did do some combat last time with them. But now we're all reset. Should be back to full. Our party sheet. Okay. So, let's see. Our features, the approach. So as the characters approach, they see that a blue dragon and its cult of dragon allies are attacking the town. The cultists seek to collect treasure that they hope to present to Tiamat upon her arrival in the world. The cult has assembled a powerful force for this raid by gathering bandits, kobolds, sellswords, and other mercenary types into a small army. A monk named Leosin Erlanthar was also in town. Through diligent research and interviews conducted during his travels between Burdusk and Candlekeep, Leosin became convinced that the cult is engaged in a big operation. But he doesn't yet know what it is. Leosin uses the raid as an opportunity to infiltrate the cult so that he can learn more about the cult's plans. He is discovered and captured, however, and needs the character's help to escape captivity. So, the characters engage in several encounters while cultists and kobolds rampage through Greenest. Okay. So one of the basic things we are looking at is this. So we have something we can give our players, so we can just click on this speech bubble and it will plop it in the chat over here. For the past several days, you have been traveling a road that winds lazily across the rolling grasslands of Greenfields. Sundown is approaching when you top a rise and see that the town of Green is just a few short miles away. But instead of a pleasant, welcoming town you expected, you see columns of black smoke rising from the burning buildings, running figures that are a little more than dots at a distance, and a dark wing shape wheeling low over the keep that rises above the center of the town. Greenest is being attacked by a dragon. Okay. So the sequence of events that follow is up to you and the characters. You present them with as many encounters as you want in any order. The only exception is Seek the Keep should be the first encounter. Okay, so we have a list of encounters we're going to come up with. General features, the approach, wandering. Also, we have a chance to run into some random characters as we come into the streets. We can sneak through and do that, and then we'll seek the keep. But this should be their first mission of the episode. It begins with a terrified human family, father, mother, and 3 young children, dash across their path, hounded by 8 kobolds. Without warning, 5 humans dash between the 2. The woman... Blah, blah, blah. Counter, we have this. And unless characters interfere, kobolds assume the characters are cultists and ignore them and concentrate on killing the woman first, her family second. Okay. So it looks like our first decision is after the approach is whether or not there's going to be any wandering encounters. So the streets of Greens are run by forces consisting of cultists and acolytes accompanied by their monstrous allies, the kobolds, and ambush drakes and giant lizards. These raiders move through the town without fear, pillaging as they go. As characters travel through the embattled town, they can run into raiders and townsfolk. Use these guidelines to determine if the characters have an encounter. If the characters use cover and stealth to avoid encounters, have each character attempt a D10 dexterity stealth check. For each 2 individuals that fail, the characters have 1 encounter on their way to the mission. Roll a D8 for the encounter table. If characters don't use cover and stealth, roll 1d8 for every 100 feet they move into town. If the roll is 4 or lower, they don't attract attention with that move. If the roll is 5 or higher, then they run into something, rolling the d8 again to check the episode encounters. So we have our basic d8 if they avoid detection or they encounter something, and then our encounter table. So I think it's a good idea to have them run into at least have a chance. Let's see, first we need to bring up our map, or our map. So you see that the map also has some pins in it. So each pin is a little side mission that they can do to help us, so we don't have to have this stuff in another room. We can just use the map, click on an encounter, and run. Right. So we know we need to. Our first mission starts here at the bottom with a seek the keep, which would be the first encounter. So as they approach this town, they have some things. Let's put our greenest map on our hotbar so we can easily access it as we go through. And that. So first, let's get to our episode 1 note. The hotbar really helps. Using the F1 keys is a great way to bring up our stuff to navigate. So let's start working out our things. So what I'm going to do, if I can help it, is to use the text provided by the module to help us write our story. So we have a basic idea of what's going on, what we see, and then we also have what the characters are told, right? So we need to do a little bit of blending between the GM knowledge that we have as the narrator, as well as the player knowledge, and kind of combining those two as a way of telling our story, so that we get the extra information that players wouldn't have, but that as a reader of a story you would kind of want to have, you would expect to have, or something. Okay, so we see the town. There's a bunch of different figures moving in the background. Big operations. Yeah, there's a chance to do a side, like another prologue for the chapter of this Theosin Erlanthar as his little endeavors or ideas being captured, but I think we're not gonna. I already have enough to write, so I think for now we can make a note in our notes. Note side story of. I should be able to just copy. Oh no, because it's locked. There we go. If I unlock it, I can copy and paste information. Sorry, on his research and how he got captured. Okay, good. That should do it. So we have that done. Okay. But then our real story, occasion several counters. So I think we definitely want to copy and modify this a little bit for our purposes. We need to replace you, a lot of that kind of stuff with some things. But this will give us tracked by a dragon. The sequence of events up till now is follow the characters. So seek the keep should be our first encounter. We can see on the map that they don't really have to enter the town in order to have the seek keep encounter initiate. It's one of the very first things we do. So after we have this encounter, they'll have a chance to run into some random people along the way. I think we want to put our random encounter on our bar, as well as our encounter chance on our bar. We should have them backwards. Good enough. There we go. So our first decisions is how is our party going to interact with this town? How are they going to respond to seeing the fact that they have a dragon and these mercenaries attacking the town? So let's see if this works. There we go. So I do have a Nightbot this time. One of the commands is characters, and it will bring up who our characters are and what class they are. If you're ever curious. So we can also look at our party sheets. We have Boris, the fighter, Catherine, a cleric, Mara, a warlock, and Rex, the ranger. Pretty good mixed party. Catherine is the only one without dark vision, but she has light and torches, so she shouldn't have a problem with that. We're gonna do so. As a reminder, all of our PCs are. Where's the notes? Are kind of lawful for sure, and lawful neutral or lawful good. So they're gonna be pretty. I think it would be fair to say they will be pretty shocked for one, obviously, but also they'll be pretty eager to help the town out. They're not going to shy from battles. They're not going to sneak in. Especially Boris is pretty brash. He's reckless. Mara is... It's on notes. She's kind of cold. Maybe she thinks she can sneak in a little bit. Rex is pretty good. He wants to help everyone out. But he is nervous and a bit superstitious and efficient. Now, let's see if we can remember what Catherine is. Impatient, and unflappable, but she's pretty easygoing outside of combat. So I think we have a pretty good divide. Let's have how each of our characters, Rex, Mara, Boris, I don't want the double space, Boris and Catherine. How each of them are going to react. I think we definitely have Rex and Mara are, let's just put them together. Rex and Mara. because of who they are, I think they want to take a more direct approach. Let's not get sidetracked. We're definitely going to help, but how do we help, right? So we are going to help. I always have the mouse in the way, sorry. We're going to help, but how? So Rex and Mara want a more direct approach. Maybe head straight for the keep and take out leaders. Rex probably doesn't enjoy talking and fighting the dragon too much. He's probably definitely more about let's just avoid the dragon. He's probably the only one who feels that way. Mara is pretty proud, and the others are pretty gung-ho. I don't think they know they're not a match for it, but they think that if they have help, they can probably address the dragon. But Rex is a little bit superstitious and a little bit more nervous about it. Not big on encountering the dragon. There we go. Okay. So Boris and Catherine, Catherine especially Catherine, wants to save as many as possible. So right away, this is a new party. They're meeting each other for the first time. They've gotten to know each other a little bit on the travels to the town, but they're still new acquaintances. And Catherine, being the noble woman she is, she wants to save as many as possible. These are people worth saving, and she's not going to pick and choose who deserves it more than others. Everyone. Not only is she a noble, but she's also good, and she is also a cleric. So naturally part of her mission in the church would be to do that. Oh, just to let you know, we have a couple other commands. We have Reddit, which you can check out. The 2 prologues I've pretty much finished working on. They're about 3-4 pages each right now. And then, what's the other one? I actually forgot what the actual code is. Let me see. It should be should be WWD for writing with dice, and that'll give us just a summary of what the show is about and what we're doing. So that should help you with some things in case you forget. Okay, so she wants to save everybody. Boris is a good guy. He's a soldier. He wants to help the civilians who can't defend themselves. Defend the citizens, as any good soldier and fighter would. But he is a military man. He knows that losses are a part of it, and he doesn't want to get too connected to the citizens. So we definitely want to start with not so much speeches by the characters, but by a short conversation about what to do. They are going to express what their desires, and I think Catherine is going to be a little overruled. She's going to want to address every little villager she can, and the other 3 are more efficient about things and say, no, we need to focus on the enemies and the leadership and so on, if we're going to save as many as we can. So general consensus, but a little bit of dissent from Catherine, I think. And she's not going to put up that big of a fight. Yeah. Doesn't put up much of a fight because it's still they still want to save the town. Something like that. They still want to save the town. Okay, so search conversation about what to do with those ideas. We should put that better to put it here. We're going to help, but what are we going to do? There's our opinions. That should be enough to get us going. Okay. So then they head into the town. So they're approaching from down here. I can write a arrow. So we come in from there and we approach. And as we approach, we have the Seek the Keep encounter. So the character has when they enter Greenest, but this should be their first real mission. Oh, so it does want us to do it as an approach. Okay. Well, this is like per 100 feet, which is a little ridiculous. But let's roll. Let's give them one chance to encounter something. Oh, and they sure enough encounter. And look, it rolled everything for me. It rolled the table. So we had an encounter. It then rolled on the encounter table, which we rolled a 5, which means we encounter a raiding group. And the raiding group consists of... It rolled on another table, raiding group, which is this table. And we rolled a 3, which means we encounter 6 cultists. Oh god. Okay, so we have our first encounter. I don't know if they have a map for this. But let's just use a basic map. Where are maps? Past it. Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Venturing Life. We'll use our basic map we used before. This is the entrance into the town. We already have Boris on here. So what's really cool is we can drag in our combat tracker. We have Boris. We also need to get the rest of our PCs from our party in the combat tracker here. We'll drag. Oh, can I not drag from the party table? Ooh, look, so to be 150 XP. I'm not going to award yet. It's an encounter. There's our 6 cultists. We want to put them in our combat tracker. I have to drag each one individually, no? Cultist. We only dragged one. 6. Okay. What I want to draw. Okay, maybe get rid of you. Delete item. Okay, if we drag the whole thing, there we go. Drag the encounter, and we'll re-roll initiatives. It re-rolls it, but and then I don't know why we can't drag from our party sheet. So we need to just drag from order. So we need inventory. That's a pretty cool thing. Everybody's inventory. Parcel items. We're not doing that. feel like it's weird that we can't drag. Is there just like I'm dragging the wrong place?